Good evening, good evening, good evening. Just waiting for this to go live. Give me a few seconds. Yeah, looks like we're live. Cool. Yeah, I've managed to get live somehow. I've had to add myself twice into the chat or live stream even because obviously I'm having IT issues, laptops wise and everything. So yeah, I'm on the iPad, so the display may not be particularly great. The sound may not be particularly great. So yeah, please let me know if you guys can hear me. First and foremost, that would be brilliant. I'm gonna do a quick test to see if I can hear myself. Just bear with me one moment. Okay, it looks like we can hear. Give me one moment. Okay, yeah. Hopefully there's no sort of dodgy sounds or anything in the background. It's just loud and clear. It seems that way in the chat. Evening to all, evening Charlie, evening Damien. Hope you guys are well. Um, yeah, as I said, I've been having some IT issues. I know this will probably go on for 2 minutes or so, but to configure it has been a bit of a pain in the ass. Looks like I've got 3 dislikes, so obviously someone has not been enjoying me uh, configuring my stuff, or they've wanted to get rid of me. So yeah, evening Archie, hope you're well, mate. I won't be live for too long tonight. I'm very busy tonight, so you know, as I said, I'm missing the football at the moment. Loads of football on at the moment, Champions League. So I will go live for as long as I can, and kind of go from there. So yeah, first and foremost, hope everyone's well. Let's kick into the show. You know, as I said, been having some IT issues, so yeah, Charlie, probably someone disliking the same account. Hey ho. Anyway, uh, there's a few stuff I want to talk about. There's quite a lot of stuff actually this week. I've been, I'm disappointed to have missed out on a lot of stuff this week. Yeah, it's a bit disappointing. So, there's lots of stuff going around. Obviously, AJ Klitschko, um, you know, Hopkins fighting again in his last fight against Joe Smith Jr. Marco Huck versus Dimitri Kutcher. Loads of fights made. Uchiyama versus Corrales 2 on New Year's Eve. So there is a lot of fights. Obviously, the stream is frozen. Let me know if anyone else, if the stream is frozen, and I can kind of go from there. I could try and configure it. If not, then we're going to have to go live another time. It's a bit dodgy. Yeah. Sorry, it's a bit of a pain I know with you know, obviously with me on an iPad or whatever, but um. So yeah, let's get cracking. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about. Then AJ versus Klitschko is obviously a big topic in boxing now. We've had a lot of stuff in regards to AJ Klitschko. Obviously, Klitschko Brown, WBA, maybe not sort of sanctioning a vacant world title fight in regards to unification. AJ possibly fighting on December 10th. Is he fighting Klitschko? Is he not fighting Klitschko? Klitschko wants a WBA belt. An IFL TV interview has come out with Coogan and Eddie saying, the WBA belt may be the making or breaking factor in this fight. So it's very, very sort of tough to, see where this fight is going. I've said on the podcast, plenty of times, I don't think this fight will be happening. I'm not, not sort of, holding out hope that this fight is going to happen. That he said that the fight, we all know at the end of the week if the fight will happen. It will go, AJ will still be on the December 10th bill, regardless of if it's Klitschko or not. But he really wants to. He wants to think. Hatman has just uploaded a video titled "Klitschko has, ducked AJ." I don't believe he's ducked AJ. It said Eddie said something on those lines on in the IFL TV interview, but I don't believe that. It's for me. I'm not buying into anything to do with Klitschko or AJ. I'm not. I don't think it's serious. So where we are is what I'm telling you guys. I don't know any more than everyone else knows. So it is one of those things. I'm not really looking forward to sort of this week if the fight's made. Maybe people are going to tell me I'm wrong, but in terms of the week itself, it's just there's been other news, a lot of other news, and I prefer to kind of focus on that. That is a major topic, I know, but sort of the other news will go under the radar, which is a bit of a shame. So yeah, I mean, in regards to the heavyweight division, if we're going to talk about that, Dillian White's obviously called out Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz signed to Matchroom. He's going to be fighting Malik Scott on November 12th in Monaco. And that's a good bill as well. I obviously missed that bill, so yeah, I mean that bill is a very, very good sort of solid bill. Dillian White, sorry, not Dillian White, just saw his name. Jason Souza versus Stephen Smith, Jim McDonnell versus Liborio Solis. There's some good fights on there. I mean, Arthur Abraham versus Martin Murray. Not spectacular fights by any means, but solid sort of undercard fights, and good sort of opportunities for the Brits to get out there. I mean, get some more exposure outside of the UK, maybe, I guess. So yeah, I mean, it is one of those things. I think Jamie McDonnell will come out clean of that fight. He'll come out very well. Solis is a former world champion, but I think Jamie McDonnell's the goods at bantamweight. I think he's a very, very underrated fighter, very, very classy. Classy in terms of some of the things he does in the ring. Fantastic fighter. So yeah, I mean, he's a very, very good fighter. Just he's not maybe given the credit he deserves. So yeah, I mean, let's see where he kind of goes from this sort of fight. I know Raushi Warren is supposed to be on the cards for the one WBA title. So we'll kind of wait and see where that goes. Stephen Smith, obviously, coming off a sort of win against Daniel Briswela for the WBC silver. That is another fight, that may have got some attention. He was on a big bill where Tony Bellew, got his, won his world title against Ilanga Makabu. So yeah, I mean, good opportunity. I think he's going to beat Jason Souza. I don't rate either of these guys, to be honest. It's a fringe world title fight, WBA regular title. I think it will be sort of as it is WBA regular fringe world title. It's not a proper world title. So yeah, I'm going to talk about sort of the Liverpool card and kind of go downwards. I actually got a chance to watch the faux card with one of my cousins, who's a very knowledgeable boxing fan. So I'm going to talk about that card very, very shortly. I'm just going to wrap this bit up. Luis Ortiz, I think he's going to bomb out Malik Scott. And yeah, I mean, Abraham versus Murray, I'm going to go with Abraham only because Abraham, he's been there against Murray, done it. So I don't expect any sort of less. Oh, that was not supposed to happen. But yeah, as I said, I think Luis Ortiz coming to the UK is very, very good for his profile, and yeah, I think it's solid for him. I think he's really gonna. Be really, really good for the UK market. He's gonna get a lot of exposure out here as opposed to maybe the States. So yeah, best of luck to him, and I'm looking forward to watching him fight. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the Liverpool card now. So we'll kind of go from top to bottom. This one there weren't really many meaningful sort of fights on the undercard. I mean, we learned a few more new stuff, but nothing more sort of radically different than what we would have done before. Hi Nat27, hope you're well, mate. Yeah, Tony Bellew versus BJ Flores. I mean, Tony Bellew looked okay in there. I mean, for the first round, he looked horrendous. He was getting peppered with a jab, and BJ Flores, Flores was, he really just caught him with everything he was throwing. Really, to be honest, apart from the sort of crazy wild hooks, he was catching him with a jab regularly. Second round, something changed. Tony Bellew came in with a bit of emotion. He's all emotionally charged in regards to David Hay being on the the sort of panel, the Sky panel on at ringside. So he came out with a purpose and he really changed it around. And third round, and he just stopped him. I mean, he looked very methodical in some areas, but he was still defensively open. He was. Hello, Irish Tom. I hope you're well, mate. If you would want to jump on, let me know and I can get you on. Just let me know. We can get you on hopefully. Yeah. I mean, that's probably the only time you'll see me. You'll see me or hear me praising Bellew, but he didn't look too bad. But if he does that against David Hay, yeah, I'll email you the link. Give me a minute, mate. I'm on a sort of different laptop, so it takes a bit of time. I mean, it's hard to judge Bellew against the sort of top guys. He gets slaughtered against them, but where's his ceiling? Where is his ceiling? It's tough stuff. I mean, he's not typically your your top top five cruiserweight, but maybe in this instance he is. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure how you guys want to rate him. He didn't look bad, but against David Hay, he gets absolutely murdered. He'll get iced by David Hay. So yeah, I don't know what you guys think about that. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on Tony Bellew. I guess loads of stuff obviously has been going on in regards to Tony Bellew. So yeah, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on him. Yeah. So I mean, Luke Campbell. I know Damien has asked me in the chat. How did I think Luke Campbell looked? I thought he looked absolutely fantastic. To be honest, Luke Campbell is one of those guys. When he's on top peak form, he shows another level. When he's sort of struggling with the weight and that sort of stuff, he doesn't look as good. So yeah, I mean it is one of those ones. I mean he's always struggling with weight, I think, but he looked really, really strong, really physical, really good at the weight this time round. So against a game Derry Matthews, it has to be said, give him a lot of credit. He really he really gave it a good go. He's not one to sort of spoil and hold. He'll come to fight. So give him his respect. He hinted out retirement after this fight. So best of luck to him. He's a decent fighter. He's a I wouldn't say he's a British level fighter. He's a Euro fringe world level sort of fighter. So yeah, Luke Campbell looked very good, and probably onwards and upwards for that for the next big fight. Maybe Anthony Crawler after the Jorge Linares fight. They might push him down the Dejan Zlatikanin route because he has a WBC silver belt, so he's quite high up in the rankings. So I guess we'll wait and see with Luke Campbell. He's got plenty of time. I mean, in terms of he's 29, he does need to get a move on. I think he's nearing his 30s, but in terms of opponents-wise, there aren't really too many opponents you want to put him in with at the moment. So I mean, maybe wait out this year or the end of this year, and he could, he might be able to get an easier touch. I'm not saying I like to see that. I like to see him face the best in the division, but he might be able to get an easier touch. And yeah, it is what it is really. So we'll wait and see with Luke Campbell. He's good. I still don't think he's transitioned to the pro game, as well as he probably thought he would. But he is good, and let's see how far he really goes. Sean Masha Dodd, he fought Francesco Patera. Patera for me won that fight. I think Dodd got a sort of, I wouldn't say a gift decision. It was a tight fight, but I thought he got a favourable decision. Even Scunny Tom, hope you're well, mate. Yeah, I mean, I thought he got a bit of a generous decision, and I thought Patera was controlling the pace. His shots were more classy. His jab in the first half of the fight was very good. I don't think everything Dodd did was kind of without purpose, and I don't really. I don't think Dodd won that fight. I think he was very lucky to get the decision in that fight. Not saying it was a complete gift decision, but yeah, it was definitely a bit of a dodgy one. Hello, Irish Tom.
Can you hear me?
It's a bit fuzzy, mate. It's a bit fuzzy.
Oh, shite. Give me a minute.
Okay, yeah, no worries, mate. I'll carry on. Just let me know when you're on. Yeah, so I thought Dodd was relatively lucky there, and yeah, I mean, it's a bit dodgy how you got that decision, but in Liverpool, I guess that's what you expect. He kept hold of his WBC international silver, so yeah, it is what it is, I guess. Yeah, it's just, I guess it's just frustrating after the sort of weeks we've had. Obviously Irish Tom's on the line. He's sorting out with his speaker, but we've spoken about the sort of appalling decisions that we've had in the UK, and it's a bit frustrating. I mean, Dodd obviously maybe shouldn't have got a nod. I don't know, maybe Irish Tom has a different view to me, but obviously Amagasa Warrington, Anthony Crawler Linares, Brooke Golovkin. There's been a lot of bad sort of Burns Relic. Obviously, there's been a lot of dodgy decisions and weird sort of scorecards on-field rider. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how you guys look at the sort of scorecards. And Dodd won by 2 for you. Well, fair enough. Hall Guerrero was very bad actually as well in that. So yeah, I mean, fair play if that's your sort of opinion, then fair enough. But I don't think Dodd done enough to win that fight. He probably done more in the Scott Cardle fight to win that, even the one that was a draw. So that's maybe saying something. But Patera was very good. I think he could come again. So yeah. Missed out fight. Ryan Burnett versus Ryan Farag was actually a pretty decent fight. Very, very good fight. Two sort of one local boy, obviously, Farag from Liverpool, and one very underrated or highly touted even prospect in Burnett. He's obviously looking to try and emulate Carl-Frampton. So yeah, Tom has left, unfortunately. Hope he can come back and sort out his speaker so we can get him on the line and get the famous PD police on. Tom, are you there, mate?
Can you hear me this time?
Yeah, perfect, mate. Loud and clear.
Oh, very good.
How are you, mate?
Not too bad. I was just busy watching some MC Hammer, and I think it was affecting my bandwidth.
Okay. So, what do you think of the weekend's action then, mate?
Let me see. What did we have? We had Bellew and BJ Flores. Yeah, I think that was I don't know. Yeah, what to make of Tony Bellew? Like BJ Flores is.
Mate, I thought he looked all right. To be fair, I thought he looked pretty decent. To be fair, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it and lie. I thought he looked all right.
Oh, like all these boxing podcasts, they all seem to hate Tony Bellew. I
You
don't
know what?
understand why.
I don't understand why. I think he's quite. Sherry openly says he likes him on the podcast. I
Yeah,
don't dislike him or like him, but his character is thoroughly entertaining. Don't get me wrong at all. I think he's mildly funny.
yeah, he talks a lot of shite, but who gives
But
he talks a lot of shite, but it doesn't matter. Like he's not like you don't think. I don't get the impression he's an asshole.
yeah, I mean,
Although he did say that
he said,
about cleverly going to AA, and I didn't like
yeah,
that.
I mean,
I think that is lousy.
yeah. No, I mean, the kind of good thing he said was in the interview with the guy after the fight. He goes, as long as I go home to my 3 kids safe and sound, I'm happy. And I think that's probably the sort of man he is. I think he's, all his bravado and that sort of stuff is just sort of sky high. And, he's trying to build a fight and get as much money as possible because, boxing is a sort of tough game. You're only in there for, maybe 10, 15, maximum 20 years, unless you're Bernard Hopkins. But we could talk about him after. But, it is, you're trying to maximize your earning potential in that sort of period. So fair play to Tony Bellew. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I think all these boxers who say, "Oh, I'll leave it up to my manager and all that to decide," I just think they're idiots.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
the way you get
That's
paid in
weird,
boxing
isn't
is by having them out. That's how you get paid. Like Tyson Fury, like Tyson doesn't have. Since Peter Fury got hold of him, he's turned him into kind of a pure boxer, and he's not the most exciting fighter to watch, Tyson. But you'll watch him because it's Tyson. You know what I mean? It's gone are the days where he had tear-ups. The last tear-up he had was Steve Cunningham. And he probably only had that because Peter Fury wasn't in the corner. Because Peter Fury would probably take out a gun and shoot him in the head if he fought like that, pretty literally. But so like all these fighters, they have to sell themselves. So I don't mind what the fighters say. I don't like it. I have much less time for promoters. I don't like promoters because they, I don't know. Fighters, I don't care about what they say.
Yeah, no, mate. I agree with you. I mean, they're just there to do their job, I guess. We speak about Eddie and Frank and Bob Arum and Al Heyman and those sort of guys. I know Al Heyman's a manager, or whatever, but they are doing what they need to do, and it is tough. I mean, they do what they have to do, but are they really a necessity, or they're an evil necessity? I guess in the game it is sort of the way to look at promoters.
Well, that's
especially sort of.
Well, that's capital.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, that's capitalism for you. But
yeah, mate.
If we were living in a socialist utopia, man, we probably wouldn't have boxing. Like
yeah, I guess so, mate. I guess so. All of our sort of great boxers wouldn't exist, would they?
No, because they wouldn't have crap lives and be forced into it. And the other thing is, like, it would never have existed. Like, look at the origins of boxing. Like, a lot of it is like rich men getting poor lads to beat each other to a pulp for their amusement. So that's like. The Marquis of Queensberry rules, that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
But anyway, Tony Bellew. What about Tony? I thought.
Does Bellew beat anyone else at cruiserweight? Sorry,
I think he's got
the top guys, sort of Lebedev, Usyk, Glowacki.
He's got a shot yet.
Those sort of guys,
like Ramirez or something. Yeah, he's got a shot. Because he's got a good. Is it his left or his right hook? I think it was his left hook.
Yeah, his left hook is very. To be fair, I picked. I remember when we said we were picking against Tony Bellew against Maccabi, was it? And
I wasn't.
I picked against him. I'll openly say it. But I in private when I was with my cousin, he's a very knowledgeable guy. I said, you know what? If Tony Bellew's going to win this fight, he's going to win via left hook, and he completely cleaned out Maccabi with that left hook. Yeah, I didn't believe that he was actually going to knock him out. But when I did, so when it happened and he caught him with a left hook, I was not surprised whatsoever because he's got a very good left hook. Sorry, But yeah,
like
I mean,
if
he's
ever,
a fire in his own right. But
like I'm not going to claim
go on.
any greatness here that I picked I picked Bellew against Makubu. I didn't. I just didn't pick anyone because I hadn't seen enough of Makubu, so I'm not claiming any knowledge on there. But like if ever there was a situation where a guy was in the wrong weight class, Tony Bellew, I don't think was a light heavy, and like
definitely, mate.
You know,
Definitely.
he used to look. You know, he never had power at light heavy, and now he's got power. Although I wonder how much power. Well, the thing is, BJ Flores never got knocked out, but Flores looked. He looked like he was like somebody from The Walking Dead at his weigh-in. Did you see him at the weigh-in?
Yeah, I saw him at the weigh-in. He
looked.
Yeah, he was
like,
he was in a bad way. I think Tony even said that he looked for the very fast start and try and bomb him out there. So obviously Tony just fought fire with fire, and he got him out of there. But it was
so like who knows how good a chin Makubu had, and with Flores there, Flores has a decent chin, but Flores he was weight trained, and he didn't he looked flabby. Like, I don't understand these pro boxers, man. How can you be a professional athlete and not keep near enough to your weight class? Because it's not like he's a heavyweight trimming down. Like if he was really super toned and fit, he'd probably only be weighing 195 pounds. You know what I mean? 192 pounds. Yeah. So how can he be struggling to make weight?
Yeah. I agree.
He's not living the life. But so, Tony, it's hard to put these wins into context because Makubu was very untested and Flores is not great. But the other thing is Flores was good in the first round. He clearly won that round to me.
Yeah.
And so like then it's like, Tony Bellew, and I think he kind of rocked Tony Bellew a couple of times. So who knows? Like I think Tony Bellew could probably beat a lot of the top guys, but I'm only saying he could. I don't make him a favorite against, I don't know any of them to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think he's an underdog against pretty much, the sort of the other top 10, the majority of them, Lebedev obviously holds 2 titles, Shumenov holds a regular title. Ducortis holds a WBA interim title. He's very good as well. There's Huck. Huck's fighting Dimitri Kutcher, the guy who brutally KO'd Enzo Macronelli. Yeah. So I mean, there are a load of top sort of guys. I think I'd pick Tony to lose in that fight, but he's an entertaining character, and so be it. But I don't know if I want to see the Hay fight. For his health, I don't want to see that. Let's put it that way. But
for my betting, I want to see it because you get 1-4 at the moment on Hay, and you'll probably get 1-3 on Hay to win by KO, and that is free money. Just
mate,
free money.
Speaking of betting, I know we're kind of switching from last week to this week, but have you seen the betting odds for Gavin versus Eglinton, mate?
Yeah, I'm waiting until you see the weigh-in because who knows what state Frankie Gavin's in. But that's free money. Like that,
he's. Yeah, I mean, he was 6-5 on some bookmakers to win by decision, and he was 5-4. 5-4 to win by to just win the fight. So I mean, that's pretty decent to be fair. And I wouldn't mind sticking a couple of quid on that and winning a bit of easy money there because I can't see.
Yeah, I agree.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, Jeff. I agree.
Yeah, I mean,
did you see gossip?
I know we're swapping. Yeah, I saw his boxing bulletin, wasn't it? I actually agree with him. To be fair,
but that one is fair enough. Yeah, no, I agree, but that one's fair enough. But his long shot one, his value one is nonsense. Frankie Gavin.
I can't see.
To knock him out.
See Gavin. Gavin can hit through a wet paper bag, mate. To be honest, so. Yeah,
and Eglinton's tough, so 10-1 is about right. I don't think there's any value there, so we'll have to slag gossip for that. We'll have to
Just
slag
slag him off
Gossip.
tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll just slag him off as well for Bellew. He never gives Bellew any credit. Like he talks about,
I dislikes him. I think he honestly dislikes him. But,
he talks about
yeah,
that's only because of Cleverly. He talks about Cleverly as saying he was an
yeah.
outstanding boxer and all this. He was never a fucking boxer. What's he talking about? He's on
I won't
drugs.
get involved in this dispute. I won't get involved in this dispute. You guys have it. You guys have it tomorrow. Yeah.
What do you call it?
Let's kind of on from the rest of the card. I mean, obviously we're talking about Bellew. We spent a bit of time on him. Luke Campbell obviously was on the card. Ryan Farag, Ryan Burnett was on the card. You know, Bradis was on the card. Obviously, you know, Bradis kind of in a 3-round blowout. But you know, those are sort of the main fights. What did you kind of make of obviously Luke Campbell's win? You know, Burnett's win and Bradis.
I liked
Bradis obviously mandatory to Bellew.
Yeah, I liked Luke Campbell's win. I thought Derry was going to follow him around the ring like he did against Terry Flanagan and not throw. But he started closing the distance in like the second or the third round. And once he started closing the distance, Luke Campbell actually sat down on his punches. You know, I think he's starting to become more pro style. Maybe that loss is the best thing that'll ever happen to him. Because, you know, he dealt with Derry, and Derry's tough.
Yeah, I think. Do you know what? I'm inclined to agree with you, mate. I'll be honest. I think he's a, you know, I think I've always said it. He hasn't transitioned well to the pros. He still throws some silly, pity-patty shots, but he really put some meat behind those body shots. You know, the body shots really crippled Derry, and Derry was game. You know, in this fight, the Terry Flanagan fight, not so much, but this fight, he came to fight. You know, in front of his home crowd. He came, he gave it everything. He got up from that. But the first sickening, I'll be honest. You know, I felt to get out from that very, very good, and obviously fought on like a warrior. Luke Campbell took him out. So, you know, testament to Luke Campbell. I think, you know, I don't know how sort of far his ceiling is. Obviously, the lightweight champions at the moment, pretty decent. Jorge Linares holds WBA belt. Robert Easter might be an option. Dejan Zlatikanin is a definite option because he holds a WBC silver belt. And Terry Flanagan holds a WBO belt. So there is, you know, there's a lot of options there. I don't know if he'll beat any of them just yet. He still needs, you know, a bit more time for me. I know he's 29, but he's still improving under Jorge Rubio and that sort of stuff. So, yeah.
How tall is he, Jet?
I think he is 5'11", possibly.
Is he that tall? Like,
yeah, something like that.
A good body shot, like when he's got distance, you know, got long reach.
Yeah.
It should be a good thing. Let me check here for him. Luke Campbell.
Yeah, I think he's 5'10".
5'9", it says here, 5'9".
As a 5'9".
Because he looks, he's quite skinny.
He looks a lot taller than that, to be fair.
Yeah, like I was impressed with him. And who was the other? Burnett, Ryan Burnett. I think he's really overrated. You know, I think like you look and they're talking about, you know, he was a world-class performance against Frag. Look what your man Guelphy, or whatever his name, did to Frag.
Yeah, Guelphy he pummeled him in 3 rounds. He KO'd him brutally. Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like Frag actually was pretty good. It wasn't like it was a one-sided fight. It was like, but he just got iced. But like in this one, he's throwing an awful lot of leather, and he's not getting his man anywhere close to looking like he's going to drop. And they're talking about how did Farag take all that punishment? But look, you know, you got to say that Burnett is not a puncher, and I know he's a reasonably good boxer, but he's going to get he's only going to go European level. I think when he gets to world, like I don't think he's got power enough to compete at the highest level. I think you just get if your power is not good enough and you get to the high level, these guys will just walk through you. You know, walk through them. So
if you, if I was comparing it, if I would have to compare him from what you said, I was talking about Jamie McDonnell. Obviously, he's on the Monaco bill, November 12th. Jamie McDonnell has a lack of power, but for what he has in a lack of power, he makes up in excellent punch variety, output. He has an awkward jab. A lot of the things that he doesn't really need power for, he makes up in other areas. So, I think Burnett is really going to struggle. I think with the lack of power, fighting style as well. I know he's with Adam Booth, but he really, I don't know. I don't know. I just didn't see the sort of slickness. I saw the gap in class between these two. I mean, Farag got to European level. I know Guerfi's obviously beating him at sort of for his European title, and this was his comeback fight. But I mean, would he be able to deal with someone like Guerfi? Who's very, very tall for the weight. He punches hard. At European level, would he be able to deal with him? I don't know. It'd be a tough fight. But I tend to. I'm tending to lean on your side of the fence for this one.
The other thing as well is he's like coming forward like he's a come forward aggressive, balls to the wall type fighter, and he's got skill. Like, what the fuck's he doing it? Like, who's he trying to? I don't know. Like, he doesn't impress. Like, if he was going balls to the wall and destroying a guy in 6 rounds, you go, fair enough, because you'll probably take the same amount of punishment in that as you would with 12 rounds, boxing. But he's going balls to the wall for 12 rounds, and he's taking a lot of punishment. And he seemed like he's trying to make exciting fights to try and like sell him. But the thing is, if you're going like that and you're not actually getting a guy out, it's not that exciting. If you're going to if you want to try and excite the fans, you're more like I personally, if I was him, just thinking about the whole thing psychologically, I just try and like dance and try and make a fool of a guy, because you can get people liking you like that too. You know what I mean? Just moving and showboating and doing all that kind of crap.
He has the skills.
He has the skills to do it. Like,
he has the skills, which is a bit disappointing. Yeah, I get your point. He has the skills. It's a bit silly for me. I mean, yeah.
Who's I watching recently? I was watching a man recently. What do you call him? He's the featherweight. He's up at welterweight. Frank Warren's guy. What do you call him? Smith. No, is it Smith?
Mitchell Smith.
Mitchell Smith. Like, you watch Mitchell Smith when he was fighting the guy. Now, obviously, Mitchell Smith not fighting at the right weight and it's a lower level. But Mitchell Smith was throwing together really slick movement and interesting punch variety and all that. And like, fans like that stuff. If you're not knocking a guy out, you can still do that stuff. You know what I mean? And I think Burnett looks like he has that kind of talent to do it. But he just, I don't know. Like, you can't just keep fighting like that. He took a lot of, even though he dominated, man, he took a lot of shots.
Somewhat. I mean, he posted a picture of himself on Twitter, cut up. Yeah, he was relatively cut up on his face. I mean, taking that was a war against Farag. So I don't know. I guess we'll see how far he goes. I mean,
I don't think he's going to go far. Like look at say, like the last, like he's probably the best Irish prospect maybe at the moment, So like the last good Irish prospect.
Fair, I put Conlon above him. I put Michael.
Oh yeah, Conlon. Yeah, but Conlon hasn't fought yet. So.
Fighter.
Oh, he's brilliant. Yeah, but he hasn't fought yet.
Yeah.
So so the last good one was probably Frampton, and Frampton always looked like quality. When I saw Frampton fight the first few times, I was saying to myself, Frampton will probably be the best Irish fighter, like, in 100 years or something, like he'll probably be better than Barry McGuigan or Steve Collins or these boys, so like, and I think Frampton will probably go down as one of the best Irish fighters, but I don't get it from Burnett. I think he might be good enough to scrape a lucky world title and lose it after 1 or 2 defenses,
Yeah, I guess we'll see. I mean, he's with Matchroom and that sort of stuff, so Eddie might get him a big fight, but I guess we'll wait and see. He's a waiting game in process. Someone's actually mentioned Liam Williams or Ahmed Patterson. I think that fight's been moved, so we'll discuss that later down the line. Who else? Obviously, Bradis fought, but that was kind of a demolition job, so don't really have any sort of interest in that. He was on the card, but it's not really.
I like him. I like Bradis.
he's a very good fighter. I mean, you know, this was sort of a standard job, so I don't really want to spend too much time on it. But I mean, for me, he beats Bellew. You know, his last performance against Duradola, he looked really, really good as well. He looked devastating. He's knocked out Manuel Char. You know, Bradis, he's a wrecking ball, and I think he'd just be too much for Bellew. But yeah, I guess we'll wait and see. Obviously, Grigory Zod is also WBC champion in recess, so I guess we'll wait and see if it's get made with Bellew or Bellew Hay gets made. So later down the line, Joseph Jr. You there, mate?
Sorry, yeah, it's breaking up a little bit from my end, I think. So say it again.
Huck versus Kutcher and Hopkins versus Joe Smith Jr., the guy who beat from far in one round.
Yeah. Oh well, I hope Hopkins retires. I just don't want to see him fight.
Yeah, he said this is his last fight.
Yeah.
Mate. So it was supposed to be, you know, sort of. It was supposed to, I don't know what was supposed to happen earlier in the year. Sorry. Orlando Salido versus Takashi Miura was supposed to be the main event, December 17th, but you know, Salido has pulled out with an injury, so this one kind of you know is a replacement for it.
Tell you what looks like is not happening now as well. It's Klitschko and AJ.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about that earlier in the show, and they're obviously talking about, you know, Klitschko Brown for WBA belt. WBA obviously, you know, have told Brown that he's going to be fighting for the his old sort of title. So obviously that belt's vacant. WBO, they've kind of said they might do a 4-man tournament. WBC, obviously they're having a interim sort of world title fight with Wilder still out, so Povetkin's to burn. Obviously the purse bid has obviously been done. Rubinski won $3.5 million, something like that. So I mean, you know, it is what it is. I don't know.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what K2 say. You know.
Yeah, did you see? Did you hear the IFL TV interview? I think it was today or yesterday. With
I did. I think.
Yeah, when he was on the phone, and obviously he said the WBA belt is a big factor in this fight happening, and I think that's a convenient way out. If you look at it, it's a
like. I wonder as well. Is it a big factor for Eddie Hearn or is it a big factor for Klitschko? He's saying it's Klitschko, but I wonder.
No, I think it's you know, sort of from AJ's side. I don't know if it's AJ himself, but I think definitely Hearn. I think he wants the fight to sort of be in unification, and I haven't heard you know, anyone sort of have a unification with a vacant world title fight. Oh, Gossip is here. YouTube royalty is here, yeah, as he says. Gossip, if you want to join, you know, please hop on. I'll send you the link, and you can join. You can join me and Irish Tom.
It might get too crowded here. I might have to slag him too much.
Go ahead, mate. Instead of on his channel, you can slag him on my channel. So it's a different avenue for you.
Oh, good.
You know,
yes.
I'm giving him the link now. So I'm sending him the link now, and he's getting on. So get ready for it, Irish Tom. In the meantime, any other thoughts on sort of Huck and Kutcher and Hopkins or anything like that?
Like Hopkins should school your man Joe Smith. And
yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, when that fight got made.
But the thing is, he got battered left, right, and centre by Kovalev, and Kovalev has this ability and GGG to make guys never look the same again. So who knows? You know, he could be finally shot. But you'd be a silly man to back against Hopkins being shot. Say a lot of people have lost money over the years. Yeah, I mean, I saw some of his pad work. I think it was last month or something, and mate, he still looks sharp on the pads and everything. He still looks very, very sharp for someone who's 52, nearly 52. So I won't be picking against him. Let's put it that way. I think he'll probably be a favourite as well. I think Joe Smith Jr. will be an underdog, and you know, a relatively, you know, heavy underdog. So I guess we'll wait and see. I mean, you know, it is what it is. Any other thoughts on Huck versus Kutcher? I think Huck wins. Yeah, I've only seen Kutcher once, I think, so I've no you know, you'd have to go with Huck on that. But not from, you know, I wouldn't never, not from a position of knowledge or anything. Anything else? Is there anything else going down? Yeah, I'm really disappointed. Like, I know I was so skeptical about the Joshua Klitschko one. So, like, but last week, you know, I thought it looked like it actually might be happening. So I was like,
hey, I've always, I think me and Gossip probably agree on this one, that we've always said the fight is not going to happen. I can't see it.
But me too. You know, I used to say it was like Eubank doing the GGG thing. I just thought there wasn't hope in hell of it happening. And then all of a sudden, it looked like it was nearly signed, and I was like, holy shit. But I'm really disappointed now, because that is a great fight. You know what I mean? That's like one of, oh, here he comes. That's like one of the best fights out there.
Yes.
Gossip.
Everyone in the chat, Gossip is here. I'm sure you all know me, but for those of you who don't, I run the Boxing Gossip channel, one of the largest YouTube boxing channels out there. Hope everyone's doing well tonight.
Get ready to get kicked, because Irish Tom is chomping at the bit to have a go at you, mate.
Who?
You heard me.
Oh.
You heard me. What were those? I only, because I'm looking. The thing is delayed for the YouTube. What were all those like muscle rips you're doing there? What the fuck was that about?
Well, I've been watching some WWE, and I think, like, for a man of my caliber, when I enter a show of this nature, I kind of picture the mental. Like, I can't see the chat because I'm calling in from my mobile, but I imagine people in the chat are going like, "Oh my God, Gossip's here! Like, brilliant!" You know, like, finally, like somebody speaking a bit of sense. You know, that kind of chat.
Do you want me to read? Do you want me to read the chat out for you?
Irish Tom, read it ahead.
This is one. Gnat27 says, "Gossip is such an asshole." Stefan says, "Gossip, you're a twat." And then who else is there? Charlie Cutton says, "Gossip, I wish that you were dead." They're just a selection of some of the things that people have said.
But I bet they all subscribe to me.
Yes, but there's only, you know, there's a large selection of masochists on this.
The fourth most powerful man in boxing.
Who's fifth?
Charlie says Ingram versus Gossip.
Oh dear.
So who wins? Ingram versus Gossip. Wait, I didn't.
There's not a man born from his mother who would beat the Gossip.
The chat's going mental, mate. The chat's going mental. What's the what's your thoughts on the weekend's action, Gossip?
No, screw that. I got to attack him first. I have to attack him. What, Gossip? What's the story with Frankie Gavin being value at 10-1 to knock out
mate? Did you watch the video?
I did.
Yeah. So what I said is, I'm going to try and pick a bet of the week and a long shot of the week. And I specifically stated the bet of the week is one that I'm extremely confident on. And then I said, the long shot of the week this week, I'm picking one for the sake of it, and I chuck a few coins on it. You know, so I think I don't rule out a Frankie Gavin stoppage here. I don't rule out. I'm not saying that I think it's likely, but I did think the pricing there was a bit off.
Oh, Jesus, I don't see it at all.
I see this as man versus boy. This is going to be a schooling. 8 rounds in, I expect Eggington to have lost every single round. And the question is he going to start swinging like a wild man? Is his corner going to pull him out? You know, could the almighty power of Frankie Gavin come to the fore in the last few rounds? You know,
well, look, it depends on what Frankie Gavin shows up, because I'm waiting until the weigh-in before I put money on that. Because Frankie hasn't fought in what, a year and a half.
He fought recently, mate. He fought like a couple of weeks.
He fought on the same card as Eggington, and they both won by KO.
But who was he fighting?
Yeah, nobody. But what was surprising, Eggington stopped the guy in 1 round, and you know, he took until the 6th and final round to knock out his man.
There you go.
So I was going around minding my own business tonight, just being Boxing Gossip, and I started getting a number of tweets from members of the YouTube boxing community going, "Oi, Gossip, you need to go and give that Irish bloke a slap. Like, the Irish guy is thinking he's big time again." So I thought, what's this about? So I logged onto my YouTube, saw Jet Goes Live, and put 2 and 2 together, you know. So what's the chat been? What have I missed?
We've just been talking about sort of the weekend's action. Obviously, your man Tony Bellew, Luke Campbell, that sort of stuff. We talked about the Birmingham show. There isn't too much on the Birmingham show apart from our man Agogo.
Yes.
For Hopkins is fighting Joe Smith Jr. Huck is fighting the guy who brutally KO'd Enzo Macronelli. So there is obviously the AJ news. We've talked a bit of everything tonight. So
I can't wait till we have actual Ogogo news.
Oh, I've been working on a special for you boys this week. You are going to
you have
a segment.
You might need to give us a sneak preview on my channel.
No.
Oh no.
There's going to be thousands of people tuning in.
So am I too low rent? I should kick this guy right now.
It is big news. Big news. What I would say, credit when due. I usually hand out stick, but credit when due. Usually it's just myself who makes the outrageous prediction that comes through, but I believe Jet joined me actually when we boldly stood against the tide and predicted that Anthony Joshua would not fight Vladimir Klitschko. There were those who were Sikh, like Tom, for example, who decided to change his position and jump on the bandwagon. But yeah, credit to you, Jet. I think you were the only one who stood with me last week.
Yeah, I think you quite enjoyed that one, mate. You quite like the patriotism there.
Time and time again. We call it. But no, that Joshua Klitschko fight, I never thought that was going to happen.
I'm pissed off, boys. I'm just pissed off because that is one of the best fights in boxing to be made.
Yeah,
come on, like that's one of the best.
Golovkin, mate.
Oh, I prefer to see Klitschko versus AJ. I think Golovkin totally is massive favorite against Canelo, but Klitschko and Joshua is, it's a live. I think Klitschko is a favorite, but Joshua is a real live underdog, and it's two giants with power. It can't, and neither of them are back foot games. It's just going to be a great fight. I can't see it being a dull fight. Because if Klitschko starts controlling with the jab, I think Joshua will just go for it.
Yeah, I mean they're the same sort of height as well, 6'6", 6'7". So yeah, they're roughly sort of the same. I think they're both billed as 6'6". So it's tough. I'd rather see. I don't know. There's a lot of fights out there, so I don't know. Maybe because I'm a nut on the lower weight classes, so maybe that's me being optimistic. So
hey lads, between Vlad and AJ, who do you think has taken more drugs?
Well, a convicted drug dealer.
Yeah, well, that's a dealer. He wasn't a convicted addict.
No, you raise a fair point. Yeah. To be honest, Vladimir Klitschko, I mean, obviously he could be on performance-enhancing drugs, and obviously there's quite a strong case that, you could make to suggest there's some suspicion there. But I would imagine, in terms of just a general lifestyle, he looks like a very clean living type to me. Like, I don't imagine he's going out doing a Tyson Fury on the weekend.
Well, I bet you he's off. I bet you he's into bondage or something. There's something not right with him, though.
I love coming on Jet's channel because it's Jet who's going to get the lawsuit this week.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about anything. Frank Warren is not going to sue me this time or anything like that. Don't worry.
Here, did you get a letter ever from Frank Warren?
No,
because I think some of the podcasts have.
I know IFL TV got a big one.
Did they?
Oh yeah. Big. They were banned from his shows for a little while.
Over what?
Yeah, it was over an interview they posted with Barry Hearn, and I can't remember the content, so I won't speculate. But Barry Hearn said some derogatory things about the other side, and they got very, very strong. As I understand it, they got a strong word. Let's put it that way.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Certain boxing forums, the forums don't allow you to write the word Warren.
Yeah. They ban it. Yeah, you're right. They ban it. So,
yeah, it comes up like a swear word.
Brilliant.
I don't know what.
What about fish eyes?
Mate, do you know what? Interesting fact. So I went to go watch the Bellew Maccabi fight, and I wanted to watch the interview, actually, to be fair. And they actually got rid of the part where he called out Frank Warren, when he said, "Hey, fish eyes, you said I couldn't do it," and that bit they kind of cut it out. So I don't know if he's kind of sued like sort of someone on YouTube or anything like that, like Davy Boy or whatever. But I don't know, it wasn't on there. So I don't know. Frank Warren's going after everyone, it seems.
Yeah, well, he's been successful on a number of occasions as well.
Well, yeah, he had a bit of a mare this weekend. Well, one of his fighters did. Ryan Walsh against Dennis Salen or Kalen.
Did anybody watch it?
That fight?
I watched it. Yeah.
I watched it. Yeah.
I watched the first round.
Obviously, yeah. Well, the first round, Walsh looked like a young Floyd Mayweather, but then it all kind of fell apart after that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, some people said. I know some of one of the scorecards were quite wide, but do you think he lost convincingly, or what guys did you guys score?
Well, am I right yet in thinking that the two judges who scored it to Kalen scored it 115, 112? But the judge who scored it to Watts scored it 117, 111?
117, 112.
I mean, that's
something like that,
easy,
yeah.
isn't it?
I don't know. I don't know. How did you
make
guys
the
score
case
it?
that Kalen only won 3 rounds?
I don't know. It was in Denmark, wasn't it, as well? I mean, you would have thought the judging might be favourable towards him instead of the other way around.
I view the Walses like the McDonald's. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Ryan Walsh or Gavin McDonald. They're both very, very, very good fighters. But, Liam Walsh and Jamie are just a different league, aren't they?
But they're a
different level.
The Walshes have got much better style, though. I'm surprised that they don't get more of a push because they're good to watch, both of them. Like the McDonald's, I know your man's a good boxer, but it's a pretty dull style.
Mm.
Yeah, that's probably why he doesn't get the sort of credit he probably deserves, to be honest. He's a two-time world champion. Gossip,
Here.
I saw your comment. You're getting cheeky now, mate. But
here, Gossip. I've got one to see how good your point is to this one. What do you call it? Now that Tony Bellew won again, and you were talking up his opponent as a good bet, do you think now if Tony fights David Haye, are you finally going to back him to beat David Haye?
Well, I'm not going to go into that in too much detail because I'm going to spoil the content of the extravaganza tomorrow. But in a word, no.
In a word,
exclusively reveal that if David Haye fights Tony Bellew, I will be picking David Haye. If you need to know why, tune in tomorrow. But I'm sure most of you can probably work it out. If you've got a pair of
what do you call it? Let's have a look. I want to see what the odds are for Tony Bellew to get KO'd.
Get KO'd? What, 1 to 10, 1 to 25?
No, it's 1 to 4 is David Haye.
That's a huge value.
Do you know that?
Huge value. It's
Isn't it? Huge value. But you might as well put the money on him knocking him out as well. Because it's not going to end on fucking points, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let me see. You get 1 to 4 on odds checker. Value.
That's great value, yeah.
Really, method of victory. Here we go. Method of victory. David Haye, 2 to 5 by KO. That is free fucking money.
Yeah.
How good is that? That's 40% return on your money for like 0.001% risk.
What's the price on David Haye to win in round 1?
He wouldn't do that though, I don't think. Let me check. Round betting.
Yeah.
They don't. Let me see.
Well, first
round 1
to 3 or something like that.
Sorry, they don't give you round 1 on David Haye.
Did they not? It's such a certain
They
thing.
give you like a group bet.
What do they do? 12 to 1. 12
What?
to 1. Yeah, 12 to 1.
Do I think that's be like 2 to 1?
Paddy Power. Well, I think let's look at grouped betting. Because he might just do what he did with Audley and just not hit him for a round.
Yeah.
5-2 on 1 to 3. Here's money. 5-6 on the first 6 rounds.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That is like the bet.
I might be able to punt on that if the fight comes off.
That's got to be a bet of a lifetime.
It really has.
Guys, this week.
Are you saying there's like a 45% chance of Bellew seeing the 7th bell?
No chance whatsoever, mate. That is crazy. Guys, I think on Friday night, Andrew Selby's fighting. Josh Taylor versus Dave Ryan, I think, is fighting this weekend as well.
That's a good fight. That's a good fight.
Josh
Taylor
is obviously
is 9.
Sorry?
2-9. That seems very short, doesn't it?
I think, yeah, I thought so. I thought that too. Dave Ryan is obviously, been around the block. He's obviously had 3 fights with John Wayne Hibbert, Tyrone Nurse. He's
I suppose he's got a bad back as well.
No one in the room loves PG. But yeah, any other sort of thoughts on, Josh Taylor? Do you think Dave Ryan's got a chance, or how do you rate Selby?
Do you know what? I haven't seen Josh Taylor fight.
He's good. He looks real quality. I've only seen him once, and I can't even remember who I saw him fight. But he is the future of Scottish boxing. He looks properly good.
I think so too. He looks good as well. I think Dave Ryan has got a lot of miles on the clock as well, to be honest.
BG, I have a question for you. Have you been drinking?
I actually have, yeah.
It's so obvious.
I wonder. I actually have, yeah. I'm sorry.
No wonder he's such a bolshy bastard tonight.
Personalism for me tonight, yeah. How could you tell?
So how many? You've had like 6 pints, have you?
I had I've had a hot date tonight, so I've had a gentle bottle of wine and then another gentle bottle of wine, but split between 2.
What do you call it? Obviously not that hot a date if you're back at 9 o'clock talking to us poor fucking mugs.
I know. It wasn't when I started thinking about how the night was going to go. I didn't think I'd end it speaking to Irish Tom, I must admit.
Yeah.
But,
just keep your trousers on there, gossip.
There you go. The date was going very, very, very well, but I lost my rag and went on a rant about Tyson Fury and the double jab about halfway through, and I think I lost her at that point.
That looks like you're being serious.
Hot serious, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I can see it.
Get rid of her. She needs to get used to the profession, mate.
Is this the same one or is this a different one?
Oh no, it's I'm sort of semi-seeing her at the minute. So
the Scottish one.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, okay, guys, you're getting an exclusive. Everyone on my channel is getting an exclusive.
What they are.
Into Gossip's love life.
I'm trying to work out what the percentage
of
her tuning in is. I think it's low.
I'll tell you what, Gossip, pay the money for that fucking SoundCloud account so I can start uploading them things.
Mate, you're so keen. Yeah. No, I probably will do. I want to see how many people download the thing first, but we'll advertise it this week and see how we get on. Well,
okay, I'll download this week's one, but the thing is, we have to try and. You're not going to get all the hits on the first one until people start picking it up.
I appreciate that. It's a small amount of money. Really. Yeah. I'm sure we can get it.
Because I know that the Boxing Asylum gets about 10 to 12,000 a week. I've heard them say for their show, and only about 2,000 to 3,000 of them are on YouTube. So the vast majority are on as a downloaded podcast. Not on YouTube.
Yeah. No, it's interesting, mate. Yeah, no, I still haven't got around to looking into it, to be honest, but I will do.
What do you call it? I have an icon as well. Jet, I'll send it over to you, see what you think. Did you see that one, Gossip? I put the text on.
I saw it in my emails.
No, I have a new one. I have a new one for you.
I saw the one I replied to, mate. I haven't seen one since, but that's probably just because I haven't logged on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me send one to the two of you boys there. Anyway, well, let's talk some boxing so we're not boring the shit out of everybody in the talk.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we've kind of covered most of the stuff. It depends what kind of guys tickles your fancy. I mean, we could talk maybe about one or two more topics. I'm gonna have to run off as well before 10. So Depends what you guys want to talk about.
Oh, fuck. Sorry, lads. 1 second. I'm just trying to think.
Oh, Jamie Cox is also fighting soon.
Prison.
No, he's still around for some reason. He's fighting. I know for a WBO Intercontinental or something like that. He's fighting on the same bill as this weekend. I think it is in Bolton. Paul Butler's fighting. I think on it as well. I think.
I thought he got sent down for like fucking a year or two or something. That was the end of his thing.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. I think something happened. He got away with it or something like that. So I'm not sure. Hey, guys, I'm not sure. Did you guys hear Jeff Horn versus Errol Spence potentially?
Wow.
For the IBF title, welterweight. Potentially.
I didn't hear that at all, mate. I didn't hear that at all.
What fight, Jess? Say that again.
Jeff Horn versus Errol Spence.
Oh Jesus!
If Brooke drops the IBF title, that fight will be for the vacant IBF.
That won't happen. They're not going to put Jeff Horn in against him. There's no way his minders will put him in against Errol Spence.
No, surely not.
That's the end of his career.
Yeah, he'll get prospect, but that would be like a lamb to the slaughter.
He'll get bombed out, mate. To be honest, he didn't look so good in his last fight for me as well. He didn't look great.
No, I don't think he's
Randall Bailey, didn't he?
Randall Bailey is about 53 or 4.
Yeah.
Gossip. Since you came a bit late, how do you think Luke Campbell looked? I know you've done a short sort of part on one of your videos.
Yeah. I thought he looked smart, actually. I really like what I saw. Derry Matthews is someone I've never been overly sold on. I always thought Derry Matthews has been slightly overrated.
Same.
But yeah, I thought Campbell dealt with him very, very well. I thought a lot of the stuff Campbell did in the ring was pretty good. Obviously, it goes without saying the body shots were good. But I also felt his evasiveness and his calmness and his movement was good. Maybe it's because Derry Matthews is quite a bit smaller than like Mendy. But do you remember Mendy just getting on the inside and grinding him down and pinning him? You know, Campbell was a bit slippery. He was on the back foot. He was evasive. He was firing pot shots from his bike. I rated it, mate.
Yeah.
What you got?
I think he's title, definitely.
You reckon?
Well,
I think he's probably the best British lightweight.
Even better than Flanagan?
Yeah.
No, I'm not convinced about that. But I think it was a good performance. But what I do think about him is that he would make a good tranny. He's got good legs. I think, wax him up.
Chicken legs, mate. Oh, gosh.
Chicken legs. Put him in a mini skirt. I think he'd be quite the looker. What do you reckon, Gossip? You're dating now. Would you date him if he put some lipstick on him?
You know what? Luke Campbell, he's a good-looking boy. Not my type.
What about Tepper versus Hamer and Real versus Granat?
Mate, that Tepper, that fight really highlights how effective performance-enhancing drugs can be, as far as I'm concerned. I know people take the piss out of David Price, but let's be honest, David Price would have absolutely hammered both of those guys. It was such a poor standard of fighting, honestly.
What happened to Hamer? Hamer looked fat.
So did Tepper. Tepper looked like a kebab man, mate. Like, I'll be honest, he looked like one of the guys in a kebab shop or something like that. He was bad, man. I mean, he was wearing a t-shirt at the weigh-in or after the weigh-in or something like that. Tepper, and his belly and his gut was actually like seeping through the t-shirt. It was embarrassing. I mean,
I watched about half of one round of that, and I swear to God, I couldn't have turned it off quicker. Because it was shot on a mobile phone on YouTube, and it was the worst looking fight. I don't know. I would not want to see. Do you want to see two fat guys following each other around a ring? Oh my God! You might as well just go down to you know, I don't know, the A&E department and see somebody there, all these obese people hanging around. Fuck that.
Yeah. Granat,
Sorry, I'm going to have to shoot off. I just need to quickly make a call. But thanks for having me on, Jet.
No worries, mate. It's catch
I'll
up
speak
tomorrow.
to you both. Cheers. Bye now. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye now. See you, Tom. What do you got, Jet? Did you see that picture I sent it through to you?
Let me check my email now.
Yeah.
And yeah, quickly before we go off, I'm going to go off after this topic. But
Yeah.
Did you hear Gary Russell's interview? He had an interview with sort of a magazine or a newspaper or something like that, and they were talking about, you know, sort of Al Heyman and how he hasn't really got, you know, Al Heyman. He hasn't really got support from Al Heyman and that sort of stuff, and obviously he's detracted now and come back onto you know, Al Heyman, his family, and that sort of stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you hear that, or have you got any thoughts on that? Or
No, I didn't hear that, but I think he's a bit of a plonker. Like I saw him interviewed with that time with Selby, and he came across like a bit of a noblet.
I just see the pictures. Quite funny, to be fair.
I think it might work, but gossip liked it anyway. But let people know it's a bunch of women.
Well, he was slightly
wearing boxing gloves.
He was slightly intoxicated.
No.
Yeah.
This is during the week. This is the other day.
Oh, fair enough. I guess we'll get his real and honest sort of boxing gossip hat view tomorrow. So yeah, I mean, we'll guess we'll see. But I quite enjoy it, to be fair. Anyway, I'm gonna crack on. So yeah, we'll catch up tomorrow. Yeah. And yeah, so it's been good having you on. Thanks to yourself for coming on, and I really appreciate that.
No hassle, Jet. Good luck.
Take care.
Talk to you tomorrow.
Speak to you tomorrow. Take care. Bye now. So guys, that was Irish Tom. Big thanks to Irish Tom for coming on. Big thanks to Gossip for coming on. It was a bit of a mini sort of podcast. You know, today we kind of had a mishmash and a massive jumble of topics. It's been a bit, you know, I'd say maybe slightly uncoordinated, or just, you know, it's kind of a run from, you know, various topic to various topics. So I mean, you know, it's been good. I've enjoyed it. You know, I've been back for obviously however I could get on. Obviously, two of me have been on. Got a few dislikes, so yeah, hopefully we can sort that out for next time. And yeah, take care, guys. I'll catch up with everyone very, very soon. And yeah, we'll hopefully we can do another live stream, or, you know, maybe something very soon. It's a bit tough without my laptop, but yeah, I guess we'll see if I can do it. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. You know, please give it a thumbs up. You know, as usual on all the videos, all previous live streams, or, you know, sort of normal analysis videos. And yeah, I'll catch up with you guys very soon. Please share it on all your social media and that sort of stuff. And hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, this sort of, you know, slight hiatus. I'm back just for the sort of live stream, just for you guys to give it out. And thanks for the 200 subscribers as well. And I'll catch you guys very soon. Take care. Peace.